Gentlemen, I wasted my first $10,000 very badly, and I wasted my second $10,000 even worse. It wasn't until I made my third $10,000 I thought, this has got to stop. Let's look for a way to actually spend this properly. Because by this point, I'd bought 2 cars, 2 motorbikes, and any money I got was going to just trying to fix them and keep them on the road. When I ended up selling them, I sold them for about half the value I bought them. I absolutely rinsed out my money. However, I locked in, I fixed those problems, I found better ways to spend my money, and then I blew up, I built a successful business, and here we are now living the dream life. So, if you don't yet know how you want to spend your first $10,000, let me show you right now. This is focused on getting the highest ROI possible, because that's what we want. We want the most money in with the least money out. So, if that sounds like you, let's jump into it right away. Boom. Magic whiteboard. Look at the budget we got for this one. This here is our $10,000, right? There it is, all snug inside here, and we are about to spend it. There is one singular thing which you should be spending as much of this money on as possible. That is the single greatest activity to give you a massive ROI. But in order for it to work, there are 3 things we have to get first to set ourselves up for that. So, the first thing we need to do is set up our earning machine. What do I mean by that? This is just your setup. This is what you need to do your work each day. In my case, that's a nice table, a nice chair. Get a really nice chair. If you're going to be working long hours, that's going to save your life. And all I've got here is a laptop and a secondary screen for the laptop. If you haven't got a PC, if you haven't got a laptop, I recommend you buy a laptop, because then you can take it anywhere with you. If you got that, a second screen, you got a mobile office wherever you go. If you're trying to make content, you need to get a camera. Whatever you're trying to do, buy the tools specific to that. Think of this as going out and buying our shovels before we go and cash in on the gold rush. If you go buy a cheap shovel, it's going to break. You're not going to be able to dig very far. You're going to get no gold, and you've wasted money buying a shovel you won't need. Get a good shovel, you'll dig down, you'll get your gold, it'll last you for years, and everybody's happy. So do not be afraid to spend a little bit of real money on getting yourself a nice setup. And the other bonus of that is it's going to make it so much easier to work, because we're going to want to use our cool kit. We're going to want to enjoy the working process. It doesn't have to be miserable, boys. Who said working has to be sad? I love it. You know, it's the favorite part of my day. Secondly, everything we do is going to be powered by our health. So let's put a bit of money into that, because if we have good health, we're going to work so much harder and we're going to get that money back tenfold. Basic things: gym membership, get yourself some supplements, some basic vitamins, and some good food for meal prep. That's all it needs to be. Don't have to spend a ton on this. We're going to make sure we're looking after our health, sleeping properly, eating properly, working out minimum 5 times a week. Third thing, this is a good one that a lot more people should use. 5 to 10% enjoyment fund, right? I didn't think I had to do this. When I first started my company with my mate, we worked for about 6 months non-stop, not spending money on anything which wasn't the business, reinvesting 100%, and we actually blew up. We made good money from that, so I can't knock it completely. The problem was, though, after 6 months of doing that and never really taking some of that money to ourselves to go off and spend it and have some fun, is that we burnt out. We stopped enjoying the lifestyle we were living. We stopped working so hard, bad habits crept in, and we actually lost quite a bit of money. Our monthly income dropped down, and then we had to lock in and get it back there again. However, if we'd taken just some of that money throughout the entire time, spent it on whatever we wanted to do, it can just be going to the strip club and throwing it up on the stage for all I care. If you're going to enjoy that, it's going to give you that sort of fire and that passion back. Fantastic. And this is an excellent motivator to make more money, right? Because if we have it as a percentage, 5 to 10%, we know that if we can go out there and make $100,000 next month, we're going to have 10K to go and blow on absolutely anything we want. And I think that is fantastic motivation. But here we are. We've got our foundation set. We've got these 3 things ticked off. We've used a good portion of the money, but we've still got this much left. What is the one singular thing we should absolutely be spending on? Are you ready? Skills, education. This is the only thing in the world, in my mind, which will give you a guaranteed massive ROI if you go out there and you take action. Let me give you an example about this. If we take our remaining $6,000 and we put it into an index fund like the S&P 500, If it goes up 10% in that year, which would be a very, very good year for that fund, we finished that year at $6,600. We've made $600 and that was it. However, if we know there's a good info product, right? I'm not talking about a scam. I'm not talking about some, how to coach coaches to coach coaches. But let's say you want to learn high ticket sales. I don't sell a high ticket sales course, just FYI, this is just an example. If you want to learn high ticket sales and you go out and you pay someone $2,000 for a high ticket sales course and they help you get a job after. If we go out and we get a high ticket sales job like this, right? All we need to do to beat this $600 profit is literally make just one sale, depending on the job you have. One sale, could be in your first month. You've already smashed this return out of the water. Boom, let's cross them out. Don't care about that anymore. And you're done. And then as we go on and we continue using that skill in the future, we start making $1,000 days, maybe $10,000 days if you're really cooking it. And this is all fantastic, but where did it come from? It came from this one $2,000 investment. That was it. So unless you already have a lot of money, let's say hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you just got nothing better to do apart from sit on your ass all day, I don't think you should bother with passive investments because we can see the return is just not there. However, if we've got some money, we've got some time, and we want to go out there and learn, skills can give us an infinite return on that money. That $2,000 is $1 million skill. The ROI on that is, that's high, man. And you can't get that by buying anything else, by investing anywhere else. And the best part about having a skill is if you start a company which sells something, if people don't like your idea and you go broke, essentially you've lost, you've got all these debts and you have to pay them back. However, if you build up a business or you get a job or a career or a money-making system which involves on a personal skill you have, someone cannot take you from that. If something goes wrong, you lose your job, no problem, you get another one tomorrow and you're back to making money because it's all on you. No one can take that away from you and you have got it. However, the reason why not everybody does this and the reason why not everybody is absolutely filthy rich right now off of learning skills, it comes from two things. Firstly, majority of people are scared to go out there and buy an info product. Like, I get it. There's lots of people out there who are just trying to steal your money and that's how they make their money, full stop. They can't teach you anything. But there are also a lot of people out there which you can vet, you can fully verify, and you can see they do know exactly how to teach you this skill. I would absolutely recommend you go out and you buy some form of mentorship with them, you buy that course, whatever it is, just make it something that you actually want to learn. The second reason why this fails for people is they're not willing to actually learn something and then go outside and take the action to refine it and actually use it to change their life. Because you can have all the skill in the world. You could have consumed every single book, every single info product there is out there. But if you then don't go out into the world and take action and use the tools you have now in your tool belt to actively change the things around you, it's not going to work. That's where people come unstuck. But if you do go for it, if you do back yourself, if you do take that jump and you don't let anybody stop you, this is going to be where you make your money from almost nothing. So I hope you enjoyed this video, boys. And if you found this interesting, but you don't have $10,000 to spend yet, don't worry. I'm going to make a video right now detailing how you should spend your first $1,000 and turn that into an income stream. So if you want to see that, like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the bell on, share it to your mum, share it to your nan, all that good stuff. And as always, lads, I'll see you in the next video. Pow!